The greatest tribute you can pay to a marmalade or jam is to say it tastes just like Mother makes it. This home-cooked taste is what Mackays strives to achieve in every one of the 12 million jars of preserves it produces from its factory in Arbroath every year.
We have stuck to the traditional homemade method, which means we're boiling longer, we're boiling it naturally in open pans. The flavour development between sugar and fruit is happening over a period of normality, and the end result is that we produce a product which is as close to homemade as you will get in a commercial environment.
It's a key selling point for Mackays, who take every opportunity to ensure its consumers are aware this open pan method harks back to the days before mass production.
Whether it's through the labelling or through the website or through other points of sale materials, we try our hardest to make sure that people know it's made in the homemade style. It's traditional open copper bottom pans, hand stirred, traditional recipes, local fruits, all those things that I think people have forgotten. They are actually achievable and possible. You can afford to buy it.
Another advantage this method gives Mackays is flexibility. It can experiment with flavours and small product runs. It's not the most cost-efficient process, but it allows Mackays to find a niche in a very crowded market.
We can do more variety of product because of it, because we're actually placing the ingredients in by hand, the fruits and what have you. There are downsides. I mean, at the end of the day, it is more labour intensive than an automated system.
It's a slower process, it's a more manual process, but all of those things add to the character of the product and give you the flavour taste profile that we're looking for.
But it's not just the traditional production method that allows Mackays to stand out. When he began production in 1996, Paul Grant employed as his factory manager Les Nicholson, aka Mr. Marmalade, who had worked for many years at Keeler's, the famous Dundee marmalade producer that had knowledge of the very first marmalade recipe. When Les joined Mackays, he brought that recipe with him.
This is the recipe that won 3 gold medals and a silver medal for both the Dundee Orange Marmalade and also the Carnoustie Chunky Marmalade. And I think that proves itself. So they have the selling point of the gold medals, plus if you taste Mackays against any other marmalade, you won't go back to any other marmalade.
To some markets, it's absolutely critical that there's a story behind the products, and an original story and some authenticity. And Japan, North America, Scandinavia would be good examples of that. That was critical to have a conversation with potential customers. But that conversation led then to product, and the taste of the product was the key to success.
But this success may never have happened had Paul Grant not spotted a business opportunity while working for United Biscuits, which had bought Mackays in 1970, principally to make jam for its biscuit fillings. Grant raised the capital to buy Mackays from United Biscuits, and in so doing acquired its fully functioning automated factory. The ability this gives him to combine old-fashioned production techniques with modern ones, he believes allows him to compete on price with the big players.
Once we come out of our boiling pans, which some very small regional producers have, but nothing of this scale, we go into automatic filling and automatic labelling, which then gives us a chance to compete in terms of a price, whereas the small regional producers go into jug and hand pouring, and they never have the ability to compete on a price basis.
Grant was also determined to grow Mackays as a family business. His son Martin is sales director. There's a strong family heritage among Scottish food producers, which the Grants believe appeals to consumers and suppliers alike.
It just allows them to know that they're dealing with a human being rather than a corporate giant, if you will. And it's also quite good fun to work within a family business as well. You have control of your destiny. You can do different things. You don't have to have endless meetings and have a democratic process all the time. You can just get on with it.
A case in point was the decision to take out a layer of distribution in the UK market. Mackays goes direct to customers itself, giving it a greater margin and giving customers greater profit since they aren't dealing with a third party. Another decision has been to adopt transparent labelling. With greater emphasis these days placed on how food is packaged, Paul Grant was convinced it would allow his jars to make an impression on the shelves, even though it's a more expensive process.
We were very, very positive about quality of product, image of product, taste of product. So we thought the consumer should be able to see the product and see it for its full vision, colour, appeal.
Mackays has enjoyed huge growth over the last decade. It began with a staff of just 19. Today it employs 110. And in that time its turnover has increased from £800,000 a year to over £9.5 million, thanks in part to the completion last year of this 75,000 square foot factory. And Paul Grant is convinced the good times are set to continue.
One of the things that's important for us going forward is that we have an ageing population, and therefore there are more and more people who are doing the traditional thing rather than the modern thing, and they're having breakfast and they're doing afternoon tea and they're living a bit longer. And these are the people that are actually going back to their heritage and enjoying our products, and we believe that that's one of the critical factors going forward that gives us confidence about the future and the opportunity.